Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in today. We're going to be going over a project I've been working on as of lately. You can see it's a pickup truck. But this is a 1961 Dodge D300 two-wheel drive pickup. 1 ton, for anyone that doesn't know. And I'm going to be switching in the running gear from my 1968 Fargo 1 ton to make this into a four-wheel drive 1 ton truck. Be pretty much a power wagon clone. So yeah, we're gonna steal the transfer case, winch, rear axle, and all the driveline components, PTO equipment. But let's take a look at this donor truck. Picked this up about 3 weeks ago from a guy near Indus, Alberta. You can see here it's in pretty amazing condition for one of these trucks, especially for being in Canada, or Alberta to be specific. We put a lot of salt on the road, so these trucks really get eaten up by salt and chlorides and calcium and all the other stuff they put on our roads. So you can see, just looking at the body panels here and under the fenders, it's in great condition. There's a bit of surface rust under on the skirting here around the engine. The underside of the fenders, though, are very, very minimal for rust, which is really rare around here. Moving on to the grill here, you can see it's the 4-headlight look with the chromed grill. I got some turn signals in there now too, but really great condition. And taking a look in the engine bay here after I cleaned it up a bit, did a carb rebuild. The truck runs really great. Still got to get it ironed out to get it to start really nice and whatnot, but that shouldn't be too far off. Put a new battery in and she fired right up, so just some tuning and it'll be great. This is the donor truck that I'm going to be stealing parts off. You can see it's quite a bit rougher than the other truck. It's got mismatched doors from a 70 or 71. Mirrors are off a 71 grain truck. And you can see the fenders are pretty rough. Still have some decals to remove here, but the firewalls are rotted out. But I need that winch on the front there and the front axle. I'll probably be using the tires from the new truck, but it looks like it's going to be a really good conversion to get everything running. Excuse me.
Yeah, thanks.
And as always, this truck is Mila approved.
Smells like 1961
She says
in
it's
here.
still a little mousy smelling, but she'll be happy to ride in it. So taking a look at this, you can see the front axle is I-beam rated 1,800 some pounds. But you see the rear is a 4.8 Spicer with the posi traction. So it's actually a better axle that's in my Fargo. It's the same Dana 70 axle, so I don't have to change that out. And it looks like it's in a little better condition than the axle on my Fargo. So we started off here stealing some parts from the Fargo truck here. I already had the hood and the grill at the shop with the other truck, but we stole the winch off it here and the winch bumper, which has steps in it. So you can see the bumper's pretty mangled up here, but it's a good candidate to get fixed up. I just put it in the press and pressed out the really bad bumps, and right now I'm working on getting it nice and smooth. And the bottom there, you can see the Braden winch. That's a LU2 winch. And then I did a little bit of scouting for additional stuff I need. I need these transfer case handles. I stole the top middle here. You can see those switches or cable pullouts. I'm going to steal those too, I think, just for accessories if I ever want to add them. So we started with getting the winch cleaned up. Of course, soaked it in degreaser for a couple hours, on and off, put a bit on, roughed it up, put some more on, and then we pulled this end plate off to start lubricating everything to come apart. And it's looks really good. Looks like they may have damaged it in the past, but we'll get to that in a few minutes here. So you can see cleaning it up. Those aluminum housings are nice and bright. It doesn't look like anyone beat on them with hammers or anything. Of course, they're rough castings. Any of these winches have really rough casting marks. I didn't spend much time cleaning it up, but after we got it all degreased and clean, started tearing it down and getting these end caps off to take the brake apart, take the worm gear out. And don't need too much for tooling here. You just need my screwdriver to pry off the end caps, or a punch and a hammer, and just a small impact to take the bolts out. They're not very tight. So here you can see that these gears look really nice and smooth. There's no pitting on them. There are no chips or anything. So
pretty clean.
Both the steel worm gear here and the brass drive gear for the drum look great. And then here are the numbers for the winch. Of course, LU2 is Braden's designation for lightweight, undermounted, and then 2 is the model number, and then 18 is this must be a production area, because there's 518 or something else. So here you can see the fair lead that the previous owner made, and how the cable cut into that one post on the left there. They just welded on some pipe, so that'd be detrimental to your cable and whatnot. And this is after I straightened the bumper up a little bit, just heated it and hammered on it a bit. So after a couple days of soaking in penetrating oil just to get that slip clutch, well, maybe a clutch, but the slip gear off the far end of the winch there. I finally got it all apart, got the drums off, and got that main shaft out. There's a little bit of rust on there, but not too bad. It's not pitted or anything, it's just surface rust. And then, of course, starting to paint some of the mounting components, the angle irons here, and the drum, just to keep it from rusting. These drums can get pretty rusty under your cable, and it kind of creates a habitat that creates more rust that goes into your cable. If you're going that route, I haven't decided between steel or synthetic. So one of the hardest parts of this was getting this piece and the shaft out of the aluminum housing for the tailstock, I guess you'd call it. This was really rusted together sitting out in the weather. The handle had broken off when I first got the truck. And you can see here on the housing for the tail end of the winch, there's a little bit of cracking around the mounting holes where that shaft goes through there for engaging or disengaging it. That's gonna have to be ground out and welded up, I think, but it's not in a structural part, which is good. And then, of course, we degreased this, because once we got it off and got the shaft out of there, it was really beat up, well, just really greasy in there from trying to lubricate that shaft and get it running. And my next thing was ordering a rebuild kit for this. I got seals and gaskets only. It's not a critical thing I think I'd have to do. The seals actually look pretty good, but may as well change them while I'm in there. The gaskets need a bit of a change. They're leaking just from sitting out. But once we get that rebuild kit, I'll add on to this video and we'll be good. This actually isn't a part for this winch. This is the schematic for the power takeoff that comes off the transmission. This is a pump. Can't remember the make of it at the moment. It says down at the bottom here, but my recording is in the way. But yeah, this is the schematic breakdown for it, and everything in this pump looks like it's really good condition. Just need to get their rebuild kit, which has the number 8s to replace, and I think they're number 4s or number 25s, whichever are the bushings or seals, just to keep water from leaking. I haven't decided if I'm going to stay with this pump for the PTO off the transmission. I'm not sure how I could integrate a water pump onto the truck and have it be functional and useful. Like a fuel transfer pump might be nice, but I don't think it's grounded properly to pump fuel without creating static. So we'll have to see what we decide. The guy on the Fargo before, he saw that the box was gone. I think he used it for watering trees or something like that. So that's why he had the water pump on there. But I got it off the truck and ready to get rebuilt. So I'll rebuild it and see if I decide to use it somehow. But I think a hydraulic power pack, or I don't know, even something, a secondary winch or something. Maybe you could have a hydraulic winch. Would be a more useful feature than a water pump. But we'll figure it out, and we'll see you on the next video. Talk to you guys in a bit. Have a good day.